ourselves ready for a little bit of Terran versus Protoss action in the WardiTV November Invitational Semifinals. You will get the chance to play against Dark in the Grand Finals. Find out over the course of this best of 5, starting on Site Delta. And in the bottom right of this map will be the red Protoss player from Dragon Kaiser Gaming, herO. Top left, our blue Terran is going to be ByuN. Get this on the way. Get this all started up. Game number 1. ByuN. Good against Clem. herO looking good against Mana in their mirror matchup. Quarterfinal matches they played. Let's see how the guys are going to look across the course of these semis, as we do have a forward barracks being placed from ByuN out in the center of the map. The forward position that is obviously likely going to be, well, a Reaper getting out early, getting across the map nice and quick is always a pretty good sign, a pretty good way of going about this. So that seems to be what we're probably going to head into here in these initial few moments as we get this all on the way. So far, so good. Barracks is just about to finish up. And as that barracks finishes, we'll just have the first Reaper already on the way out. Cybercore coming through as well, so we continue to get that on the go. And just going to have ourselves the next coming up also. Orbital Command coming through. The SCV continues down to the bottom right side. Next is in the Cybercore building. And we'll see how quickly this Reaper hits and see if it can have anything impactful happen throughout the early stages. As the Reaper hopping up, but there's a pylon that is not walled properly. Oh my god, herO. Can someone just teach herO how to do wall-offs? Like, please? How many times is herO going to have a wall-off that isn't properly walled off? I do not know. Adept chasing after the Reaper. Reaper gets pushed away over to the side. Adept continues to shit around. Reaper gets down to the low ground. We will just see our Nexus is about to finish. Stargate's over halfway done. And the Warp Gate upgrade starting on the Cybernetics core as well. Adept firing one more shot off. Reaper already taking some hits for the moment. As they will, with the second Reaper, try and find just a little bit extra coming back through. Aiming straight towards this mineral line. Second probe of the game now goes down. A grenade. This Reaper does feel trapped. And it is just going to be given up on by ByuN. He's not going to stick around any longer, as that will be the end of this opening. Reaper harassed for 2 probes. A little bit of chaos caused early. Was a lot of value in causing chaos early, of course. I mean, the earlier you mix up trouble, the better off you're going to be in terms of your opponent being prepared or not. You have our Oracle about to pop out, and a few Adepts are going to continue to chase the Reaper down over on the side. Roll 4, Warp Gate still coming through. A couple more probes building. The Cyclones on the way. The Medevac coming up as well for the moment in this game. Here comes the Oracle then, looking to get in for some damage. Let's see if it can find anything. You start off. And let's have ourselves the Phoenix coming through as well. Robo Facility, so just going to be seeing Phoenix Colossus most likely here on the side of herO. Not really surprising there. Pretty much exactly what you'd expect it to be for these early stages. Phoenix Colossus, very safe way to play. Not a bad way to open a series, especially on a map like Site Delta, which is, well, definitely one which is pushable and, you know, position base can be taken and positioned against as the Terran. You can really set up siege positions to kind of punish some of those locations, so it's definitely one thing you'll want to watch out for throughout the course of the game. Medevac still just heading down to the south. A couple of Cyclones inside of said Medevac. We'll try for some damage in these early stages, so we'll see if they can succeed at all as the Medevac continues to boost on across. Robo Bay on the way through. Again, no surprises. Going to get that safety immortal as well. Helps protect you against some of this initial pressure, right? The ability to kind of have the immortal out. Just a good defensive unit early in the game can go such a long way sometimes. So, like I say, good to see that already being brought into play for the moment. As the double Phoenix will continue to cycle around each other. I mean, ByuN is setting up to potentially. I mean, he's got a tank out. If he wanted to push, he maybe could. I'm not sure if he would necessarily want to, though. It doesn't feel like his setup is really made for just pushing right now. Only one tank. Mostly just getting set towards his extra barracks and his upgrades, engineering base as well. Don't think there'd be a lot of power if he went right now. The medevac and the cyclones are a nice little harassing force and mobile force. I mean, at this point, do you really want to go across the map anymore? You know Phoenix are a threat. The more that you kind of put this medevac out there, the more likely it gets picked off and you just lose out on those units without really getting any benefit from it. So stasis wards all continue up and around. We just have ourselves again the extended thermal lance, the sentry, the Phoenix continuing to produce along for the moment. That's an army of heroes starting to push up through the center. A little stasis ward goes down as well, so trying to see what we will do with that as the stasis catches. Extended thermal lens still on the way. Loss is still coming through as well. Bringing as much of this up as possible as army continues to collect to the upper side. Gonna start pushing into that third base location, so the orbital already starting to take some damage over there. Hits will be set off. Couple of cyclones locking on, the adept taking some damage, and we do kind of continue to stare each other down, figure out how is this dance gonna go. Who is gonna be doing it more? Still got that extended thermal lance going through, the fleet beacon still on the way out. It's just all of that being brought in, another Stargate coming through. The Phoenix gonna head back around the bottom side. I mean, just fast fleet beacon in that Stargate. I mean, if ByuN isn't going to do anything, if he just sits there, he could take full advantage of that, get all this tech up and running. Obviously, right now, I think he just wants to go into Phoenix range, but if ByuN really doesn't do anything, what stops you from just being like, oh, cool, you know, carrier time? So ByuN does start to move out, and the Stasis Ward is going to see that. Catches that one single cyclone, so at least you're aware now as the Protoss that you're moving. And the Oracle will keep track a little bit better with the Revelation that just gets popped on this 3 Colossi. And as ByuN scans that, I think he knows immediately, yep, turn, tail, and run. That's not an army you attack into, not with what he currently has. He would need at least Ghosts. If not Ghosts, then perhaps Vikings. And it is, by the way, straight carriers from herO, so he does not go into the Phoenix and the Phoenix range, which I guess makes... He has 5 Phoenix. He could have upped the Phoenix production and gone into Phoenix range, but I think he just knows right now ByuN is scared of him, and if he's scared of him, why the hell play, you know, why the hell not take advantage of that? If he's scared of you, use that to your favor and basically go and put these carriers in production, because if ByuN's not going to attack you, you're going to get freely to carriers, and that's going to make this game way more difficult for ByuN than it would have been otherwise. Hallucination gets knocked down. Our Bioforce still gathering out in the center for a few more moments. And you have a bunch of extra gateways coming out. The carriers still coming through. Phoenix starting to get forward for just a moment or so there as well. Mine's still moving about. There's actually one more Wood of Mine getting lifted up already by the Phoenix there, so they're just going to get lifted and moved away. Okay, a couple carriers still coming through. That charge is still coming up. Templar Archive still building as well, so a lot of things just being set up at the moment. Scanning ahead, but the Bio is going to run into Stasis Ward, so no love gained there. Wood of Mine gets picked off by the Phoenix as well, so that's just going to go down. 7 more gateways coming up. I mean, now hero's getting into Disruptors and Templar Archives, and you know, really he can just pick and choose what part of his army goes with what other part of his army. He's getting so much production on the way. As this Bioforce continues in the center of the map, that's going to be an Oracle that'll get taken down as well, so Oracle now falls. Will drop. The Phoenix still gathering in the center. Extra gates coming through. As Zealot's going to start jumping onto the sensor tower as well. That will go down. And just going to be seeing a little bit of bio coming across. The Zealots will indeed fall. Phoenix picking off a couple of the Widow Mines. Phoenix will push and Observer gets scanned. Observer will get knocked out. 2-2 coming up. A couple of Ghosts are coming in. It's just this Protoss army has really made itself all the way to being the best army it can be, and that's something that ByuN starts to work around. This Protoss, it's just not easy to attack into carriers and disruptors and all the tech that the Protoss has, and that's obviously the difficulty that we're about to be seeing break out in this game as we down do see Bioforce coming through. It's a little bit of a stim. Disruptor is not going to land, is not going to get far enough forward to reach there. And ByuN just overpower this. There's a world where if there's not enough support, these air units might just drop. Oh, there's so many Marauders that don't have anything left to kill, so they're just sat there doing nothing at all. Okay. ByuN is still going to take a supply lead off of this. It's just going to be interesting because he still needs to get enough anti-air up to deal with these carriers. That is the current threat that ByuN is facing, the fact that he might not actually be able to clean the carriers out. That could actually become a little bit of a problem, perhaps. So that's one final thing to just keep our eyes on. Bio still in the center of the map, moving around for a moment. We got ourselves another couple High Templar just getting warped in as well. Just getting those on the way. More shots just coming through. We have ourselves the Bioforce going to start stimming up again. Liberators trying to lead the charge. Interceptors are going to go big. The Liberators don't do much at all. Again, it's just a question of do we have enough bio to get rid of carriers? I actually just do not think we do. We just don't have enough anti-air units. That is the problem. More than anything else, we just don't have enough units that actually, plain and simple, shoot upwards. Like, that is just where we stand right now. That's, a little bit crazy, actually, as we see a couple more Archons still coming through, then Interceptors still coming out. The Observer's on the way. 3-3 coming up on the side of ByuN. As we get some more Libs on the way out as well. The carriers are going to move forward again. All of Zealots charging by. Missile turret goes down. Now the supply depot as well. Interceptors continue through. Whoa! Widow Mines connecting big time on that group of Interceptors. Archons continue to press up, and we do have ourselves a 3-3 still continuing by. Libs, Marines, Ghosts. Whole building right now is a 17 SCV gloss. Is going to be in place. There's just no answer to the carriers. The carriers alone will win this game. Damn. What a game. herO. He really noticed when his opponent was... Yeah, he really noticed when his opponent was weak. He really did try and take advantage of it. And he just sort of just dropped those carriers down. He went straight to them, and he really got away with it. 7 more Interceptors coming through. Another Archon coming up. A couple more Zealots coming by. At this point, obviously, herO still has a very strong army. ByuN's not really doing anything to rectify his problems, which is the fact that he doesn't have a lot of anti-air. I mean, he's building only Marines, but then you also have the issue of the more Marines you build, the less tanky that ground force is, so maybe then it actually runs into more trouble as well. Liberators go down. herO's going to come charging up into the natural of Slight Delta. Disruptor for a couple of Ghosts. However, he lost the Archons, and the supply dips back into ByuN's favor. This Disruptor shot does not manage to land. EMPs available, but not many of them. We have a new round of Archons as ByuN actually starting to pull SCVs ready for this. I tell you what, ByuN does have 5 bases, so ByuN actually has a lot of income as he kites backwards here. Going to try and let mines do some work. EMPs onto the Archons. He gets rid of the Disruptors. Now he'll stand and fight. Is there a way he gets rid of enough Interceptors to make this engageable? He might be able to chase. This is a fine line that both players are walking, and, you know, ByuN might have just found what he needed, because now he does have enough anti-air, and suddenly the Interceptors do not do enough. We continue to push through, and ByuN just dealing with the ground army. Pure Marines then enabling him to just chase down Interceptor Carrier. Disruptor shot is not going to do enough, and that Disruptor will now get cleaned out. And ByuN is going to turn it around. He is going to get every single carrier that was on the map. ByuN is going to kill off everything of herO, and he's going to continue marching. There's one Disruptor here that can micro in the Prism a little bit. That Prism's a little trapped as well. I mean, it can run bottom left, I suppose. Disruptor shot misses everything there. Somehow didn't even find the Widow Miners. Liberators are going to siege. I mean, now the issue for ByuN, maybe he has so many Marines against Colossus production, but there's only one Colossus out, and there's no units to support the Colossus, which means it's just going to die, and ByuN is going to bring it back and win game 1 of this semi-final. What the hell was that? That was a wild game. Series, we kick this off, we get this underway. Having the bottom left-hand side, the red Protoss player from Dragon, Geyser Gaming. This is herO. Top right, our blue Terran is going to be ByuN from the Shopify Rebellion. And he is up one game after a pretty spectacular way to start it all off. Just there on Site Delta. Let's see if game 2 will even be half as much fun as that one. It really was something. Excuse me. Why did herO throw that game? He must have just really decided he didn't want to win it. He obviously thought he just had enough still. He obviously didn't think that ByuN had what he needed to clear out the carriers, is what it really came down to, right? So, not the craziest thing in the world. Illusion85, how you doing? Thank you so much for the resub. 6 months. I was about to say 85 months. No, that's just part of your name. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Engineering Bay block gets dealt with pretty quickly, which is good. The sooner you deal with that, the less it has to become a big deal or anything, etc. So, just good to work through that nice and quick. No problems. Initially, as we just have ourselves the Cyber Core, about to finish, and we'll see where we take this next moment or so. Let's get this ready to resume. On the way from ByuN, so a little bit of pressure maybe to come out of that for a few moments. Again, just a little investigation as to how things might get set up here. Dev gets chased around. Mostly Dev gets chased around. As you see here, still able to apply some amount of pressure, just wants to try and do what he can, get a little bit of damage done. See, you know what? Marines and our Hellions moving back across into the center of the map. As that goes down. And also have ourselves just the medevac production resuming. So ByuN's going to look to get very aggressive here. Really wants to get across the map and pack a bit of a punch into an attack, I would imagine, based on what we're currently seeing. Gonna get that underway. Again, Blink coming up. The medevac is going to be supported by a Cyclone as well, so ByuN really does just have A lot of get across the map and go units. Blink coming in, couple batteries coming in. And we'll see a Robo as well from here as he continues to get himself established right now. He continues to get himself going in that regard. Just going to be seeing the units get pushed into the front though, and we are going to break through this wall. Battery is up, so we can utilize that as part of our defense here. There's a lot of healing to be done, however, and the battery is very quickly being drained. Now ByuN moves up to the high ground. Now these units on the low ground. He's going to leave the Hellions to go deal with the mineral line while the Marines will zone out the Stalkers. Uh-oh, these probes are going to start really dropping at this point. This is a very cool way of handling this as ByuN, just sending those Hellions to absolutely deal with the entire mineral line. We recall a Stalker to the high ground, but that means the Marines on the low ground now are going to go uncontested. Oh no, this starts to feel as though it's more and more of a disaster from here as he just takes damage all over the place. 13 workers have already gone. The Cyclones on the front are now going to pick away. Stalker gets locked onto. Super Battery at least is active, and that will save the day for a moment. The Liberator is going to set up. That means the Stalkers can't push through. And now you're going to start losing. Yeah, I mean, ByuN realizes he can get onto the Robo facility here. The Super Battery can maybe heal it for a little bit, but I don't think he's going to get an Immortal, I'll put it that way. And if that Robo goes down, that's one of the key ways of defending going down as well. It's likely not going to be great as Marines, Cyclones, the Liberator getting back onto this Cyber Core once again. Two more Cyclones showing up. Cyber Core does go down. The Gateway is still taking damage. Stalkers just blink back once more as Marines and Cyclones continue to go onto the warp gate. Battery falls, a couple more pylons dropping. We are just going to be seeing ourselves the situation getting worse and worse. This is obviously going out of hand as we have 4 Cyclones, 2 Liberators, a handful of Marines. The Medevac's still alive and able to provide some value as well is obviously a big deal. As you just push on through, and yeah, there's not much else to be said. On the end of this one, guys, herO. It really went wrong when the Hellions got to the main. That's where damage was taken. That's where herO began to get into like an irrecoverable position, and then the pressure just kept coming. He's trying to get a Dark Shrine up. I mean, I love the fact that he believes. Nexus will fall again. Dark Shrine still just on the way through, trying to make it in here as a couple of Stalkers will blink here, blink there, will go back and forth. More shots, another Cyclone. Very nearly going down. Now the Liberator will indeed go down. I mean, you've already knocked herO down on one base. You are beginning to expand yourself. Remember that ByuN wasn't expanding himself, so this was one base from ByuN. But it's absolutely done enough damage to justify being a one baser. Obviously, with his own expansion and controlling his opponent from retaking their own, it would seem as though ByuN is going to be in pretty darn good position here. As the Tech Labs comes up on that factory, we do see the Banshee and the Cloaking going to be a thing as well. That's something which, you know, currently herO does not have the tech to deal with. One Banshee is out, and we'll be waiting for the second. Stalker's going to get recalled back over there. Stalker's come down, going to blink on top of a Liberator. Medevac, Marines, and Cyclones will fall as well. And she continues to move down the right. We do still see that Shadow Stride coming up, so we really are going to rely on these DTs way back into this. Banshee's still setting up that starport. There's the Nexus going down the natural. Observer and the Stalker continue to produce. Stalker's coming up this ram. Couple of shots from the Cyclones, and the tank just going to be able to push that back again. Banshee's still through the bottom side of the map. Still on the move right there. There's a Dark Shrine. As the DT warp in, Banshee show up, and there's no detection. And if this wasn't already game, this really should be game now. Sorry, I take it back. There is detection. He built a Robo. The Observer just took a while to get out, and then the units finally got on top of them. Sorry, guys. There's detection, but I mean, they took so long to get there that does it really matter? Does it really make a difference? This game looks still as done as it ever has. There's now, yeah, ByuN, if he just waits a little bit, double worker count, you'll build up a much larger army to push across the map. And TLDR don't die to the DTs, and this game really is just yours. And ByuN would be at a 2-0 lead in the best of 5. GG's to herO, and ByuN is going to take it 2-0 on that one. Alright, ByuN 2 and herO 0, and we have in the bottom right corner of the map our blue Protoss player. This Dragon Kaiser Gaming's herO, down by 2, needs to bring it back right here. Top left, our Red Terran from the Shopify Rebellion is ByuN. Alright, game number 3. Get this on the go. Let's see where we head with it. Let's see who is going to find themselves. Well, something. That's an amazing start. Finds the proxy barracks, so herO going to shut that down. That's a great edge to gain right at the start of this game. That is a must-win for him. herO! Maybe that's all he needed. This is going to be seen on probe, and the SCV coming back around gateway, and the probe coming about. Gonna have our Nexus building, the barracks on the other side. Probe is going to come up, nibble at that SCV. We are going to go back and forth a little with the SCV and the probe. Obviously, the barracks delayed from ByuN, so pretty much his entire game plan gets delayed from here, but let's see what happens as SCV continues to chase the probe down again, so that just goes back over this direction. Obviously, probably sees the high ground CC. High ground CC is probably a must here, just because obviously you're delayed on your barracks. Everything is kind of off in timing, so if you don't go high ground, there's a high chance it just gets delayed even further on the low ground. Twilight Council will begin to build, so we get that on the go. Bring that up. Again, Warp Gate is coming through. Twilight build from herO to maybe try and keep applying some pressure after a solid start. That find really is a golden find in these early stages. It's a couple of probes and the Adepts all looking at each other. Adepts like, should I go across the map? Should I not? Pretty passive from herO, right? I mean, just keeping the Adept back here, getting that blink started immediately. Could just commit all the way through to 4 gates of blink, right? If he really wants to up the ante a little bit, that could be a way to make this happen, so could be an interesting choice. Just because, obviously, again, if ByuN's had a bad start and timings are off, if the 4-gate blink is executed well, then you can absolutely just be looking at a killing blow very early in this game, so might be a good opportunity to try and take advantage of, as I say. So we'll see if herO wants to do that. For the moment, just 2 additional gates is going to take us to 3. I mean, 3 gates of Blink Stalkers is nice as well. It's still a good amount of units to pressure with, so you can still see some value from that. As the few Marines in the Cyclone come back around on the low ground. ByuN is going to send some of the Marines around the left. A little bit of a flanking move, maybe. Does want to try and find something on the other side, so a possibility there in terms of what could happen, in terms of what could be coming up. The Adept on the top side is maybe going to see these next 2 Marines, but actually we'll see the medevac as well, so that's good information to see the medevac starting to move onto the other side of the map. So seeing that immediately, the Cyclone comes back over, the blink is still coming through. Adept shows up to start picking their way through some SCVs, so we'll get some damage done. Few workers going down, Cyclone locking on. This Adept is indeed going to fall. As now we see ByuN just pulling back, so where are we really at? 10 worker lead from herO. ByuN still focused on just 1-1-1 unit production. Marine tank lib sort of suggests that this is, for him, mostly about this push. He's going to pull SCVs with it to double down on that idea. He wants to do something with this attack. He knows he's behind off the opening. He wants to do something now. I mean, herO having 3 gates of Stalker production, now actually 4 gates of Stalker production, should just mean he has the numbers to deal with this, right? Like, if herO is building a, doing a build that's already set up to be aggressive, he should have no issues dealing with the aggression of his opponent. ByuN is going to take a bit of a fight, sees that there's blink, sees there's enough Stalkers. He knows that this is all gone wrong, and that is going to be how we get to game 4 of the series. Semi-final time. Dark waits in the finals for the winner of this matchup. Is in the top right. Blue Terran from the Shopify Rebellion. He is ByuN. Up against the red Protoss in the bottom left side of the map, it's going to be herO from Dragon Kaiser Gaming. He goes for a very early probe out across to the other side. Through the center, past the watchtower. Barracks will start up as the probe does make its way in, so starts to go nibbling away. A couple of SCVs get pulled into the probe. Can get away, assimilator continuing up. The SCV will continue to chase our probe down for a few moments and just have ourselves a little bit of back and forth here. Refinery coming up, the probe still being chased around, is gonna get surrounded, gets killed, so ByuN with a big SCV pull to guarantee the kill on that. If you don't get the kill there, it's obviously a little bit awkward because then you've pulled a lot of SCVs, you get nothing out of it. It's obviously not the case this time around though, so. Tracks on its way up. I'm going to be finishing fairly soon. Kind of a wild series. ByuN really dominant. Well, first game was obviously a bit of a fiesta, but then game 2, ByuN quite dominant, then game 3 just gets found, so you just get kind of stomped out. Big way for momentum to change here between these two is... Just have our CC building up on the natural. Again, Nexus, Assimilator. Warp Gate continues to come in. Flips down a depot. Reactor still building on the barracks. Council already coming through with the Nexus on the way as well, so we continue to just get that straight into play. Just for the moment. He's about to be finished, and our Twilight counts as the choice of tech once again from herO. He's obviously mixed up a little bit. Went for that Phoenix play game 1, and then went Twilight last game, going Twilight again now. Game 2, he was never really able to get his tech up and running, so not as much to add on there, but we do have our blink. Then starting, so that's on the way up. Warp Gate's still coming through. A couple of Adepts is going to go for one Marine. And looking for a second. Helly now going to take some shots as well. The more damage like this you take, the worse off this becomes. It's going to be one more Marine going down. There's 3 Marines and a Hellion so far. Neither Adept has fallen. And we'll just camp out in the natural area. See if there's more that they can do. Criminal Gates, we're going to see 4 Gate again here from herO, so kind of going to run it back from the last game. Only obviously last game was an interesting start where herO was already very far ahead. This time he is actually just going to press it into the 4 Gate blink and see what it is he can find. A few Adepts are going to negotiating forward as well, so they're going to try and find out what's going on. As we have Marines there ready to fight those Adepts. Cyclone drops into the center of the map, going to go after these Adepts as well. So a couple of Adepts are going to go get chased away. I think just about a finished Prism coming through. And we have ourselves the Medevac going to drop a Cyclone in, going to find one more probe. The few Stalkers still coming across. Again, the Raven. And it's just about to be done as well in a couple of moments. Pop that out and get that on the map. Stalkers to the far right. You can actually see that Raven right there. Raven will take some damage as it gets pushed away to the sides. Raven is going to pull back around, turn into the main for a sec, so it's going to bring that back over as a couple of batteries continue up. Stalker's going to get rid of the first siege tank. Just easy access straight into this main base, and ByuN is going to start taking some hits. 3 SCVs, a siege tank. Tech lab on the factory, so now further tank production is going to be slowed unless he wanted to cancel up stim. Blinks for the next tank. I think herO's just realizing how good a position this is. He's got the Prism to micro beyond the Blink, and he is already finding 7 SCVs. Blink comes back so he can reposition a little bit. Just wants to pull away, essentially, is the idea right there. Cyclone on the other side trying to make up for 13 SCVs of losses, but it feels as though so far herO's getting it done. Now, of course, it is committed from him, and so he's only 8 workers ahead right now. No third base either. The Cyclone finally gets some probe, but meanwhile, the Stalkers are going to go for the bunker over on the natural. So, bunker goes down. ByuN gets one more tank high ground. We blink for it. It will take 2 volleys, but it only gets 1 volley off itself, so that's still almost fine. A few Marines step forward, but again, the question is pretty much at this point always, is it going to be enough? It is absolutely not going to be enough from ByuN as herO just wins out, and again, just a couple games back-to-back, quick, effective, and herO is already tied this series up. So just like that, we're going to game 5. In the top left-hand side, the red Terran player, it is Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. As in the bottom right, our blue Protoss player, it's going to be herO. Alright, then final game kicking off, getting underway here. Winner of this plays Dark in a best-of-5 final to follow this up. We're coming up to the top, going to be seeing the SCV nibbling back. Couple of refineries continue in. The SCV will continue to chase that probe down for a few moments. Let's see where. Oh my goodness. First the SCV nearly died, then the probe nearly died. As that probe comes back around in the natural expansion. And move back up to the high ground. And got the Cybercore just continuing through then, so everything getting settled there. A couple more moments. And we just wait still for the tech choice. Obviously, herO's been doing a good job with Blink the last couple of games in a couple different scenarios. It's going to be seeing Ariba coming back down the left-hand side. Factory about to finish. Stargate coming through. Ariba heads all the way down to the bottom. CC building behind this from ByuN. He's just going to hop into this main base, trying to see a little bit of what's going on. Firing up on that pylon, the Adept trying to chase around. Reaper hops to the high ground. The other Adept here is going to be able to finish that off before we get in range to see the scout of the Stargate. herO is switching it back to that Stargate right now. And yo, we won 250. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Going out to Nino Madhouse, L Ecom VR, Ranas TV, Neat Pete 8. Go Joey. Thank you so much for the generosity of the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Probe takes a few more shots. We do see the Marine coming down. This probe is going to die, guys. That's what it comes down to. It's either going to die to the Marine or the Widow Mine. I almost would have preferred it to go off in the Widow Mine, because then at least the Widow Mine is visible for a few moments. Maybe that gives the Adept an option. I mean, the Adept shade past anyway, but maybe they could have even chased the Widow Mine, which would have been a neat little play. As one Adept goes down, now the second Adept will be taking some more damage. This one should be able to shade out alive at least. Does indeed manage to get out of there. So one Adept falls. And I've got the Raven on the way with the Matrix upgrade also being established at the moment. That's your Uru Guardian FPS God X 6-month resub. Thank you so much. Welcome back. Love the name. And you won for one more gifted sub to Chabs. Thank you so much for some additional generosity. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. Appreciate it. That's our factory moves off to the side. Barrack's going to drop down onto the tech lab. Just for the moment. A couple more Marines coming out. The Raven's still building through. The Interference Matrix as well on the way up. For the moment here. Chab's going to gift the sub forward to Luke Nukem streaming. All the subs all over the place. Thank you so much. Appreciate the generosity, guys. As our Adept is going to try and shade trick the Widow Mine. Works, and that means the Phoenix can lift it up. Quick kill. Good clean up there. Good to have that timing down and in your arsenal of tools. That's exactly what herO is able to do. As a couple more barracks continue up. The Cyclone's still building. More Marines are continuing out. Hot Donkey. Thank you so much for the 46-month resub as well. Welcome back. As that Robo Bay and the Immortal continue to produce in. The 2 Ravens are going to be actually dove on by the Phoenix here. We're going to get one. Don't tell me we get both Ravens. We do at the cost of 2 Phoenix. Phoenix count is important, but you've just completely undone all the Raven production and Interference Matrix upgrade that is now not even going to be cast in this game. How much do we miss these 2 Phoenix? Not as much as ByuN will miss the 2 Ravens, I think that's for sure. I think that's the big statement to really take from this, right? Is we have our Phoenix coming across, first Marine going down, a couple of SCVs will get hunted. Stimpack Combat Shield. And +1, the big upgrades for ByuN on the way, but not ready yet. There's a few more SCVs. We'll get chipped away at here. herO from O2 behind, putting himself in a good position to maybe complete this complete turnaround in this match. ByuN's going to go across. Obviously, the big issue for herO is that a lot of his units have been these Phoenix. So no matter what, whether they gave themselves up in the right way or the wrong way, right now he still sits a little bit weaker than he'd like to be. Simply for the fact that his opponent has, obviously, you know, he has built Phoenix, and the Phoenix are not the best in the straight-up fight. But with a couple of Immortals out, that should be some of the sturdiness you need to really deal with this and to turn it around. And I think herO is going to be just fine. Let's see if these Marines and Cyclones can do anything, but I do not think they have a chance. You can see herO is even hunting. He doesn't want to dive too hard. I mean, Phoenix maybe can't justify lifting up Marines and stuff, but being nearby to help is never a bad thing, and it does force ByuN back, which, you know, even just making sure ByuN is taking steps away is a nice thing. As Phoenix come through, a few more SCVs will be dropping. Hints of ByuN coming back in toward the natural as pushing us a few Marines back out the left-hand side. The Phoenix there going to get turned around a couple more times. I mean, just map control, though. herO is constantly in the base of ByuN. He's constantly got full vision of just what's going on in this game. You know, he doesn't have to play a single moment of this game blind, which is an incredible feeling in the game of StarCraft 2. So much of this game is about information. And herO basically has permanent vision of his opponent's base. Some people download viruses onto their computers to be able to hack in that way, you know? Like, that's how cool this is right now for herO. As Colossus fires up, and one Immortal does go down. The Colossus will go down too. Not a lot of support on the ground is meaning that this ground army of ByuN is just about being able to clean up. A couple Stalkers at the very end are going to go with the Phoenix to clean up the last couple of units. We go back and forth. I mean, herO kind of lost his air units, his base kind of tech units here, which is scary. Is that worth it? Do we love that? Probably not. I mean, 2 Immortals and a Colossus would have been amazing to still have in the army, right? So I feel like missing out on those is a bit of a shame. Yeah, that was not really it. That was not quite what it was meant to be, probably, as Phoenix continue back on the left-hand side now. A little bit of bio just stimming around here and there. Phoenix come back over toward the left and just going to go pick off an SCV, so a bit more damage being done. And a little bit of extra here for the moment. More Zealots coming through, the charge and the +1 attack continuing in as well. All of that still being built. There's a couple of hallucinations. Going to go pressing on forward. They're going to go up this ramp. First Widow Mine shot. Going to go down. Bio is going to continue to fight through. I mean, Hallucinated Probes just trying to get rid of some of those Widow Mine shots initially, and it kind of worked, cleared the way a little bit. Three probes going down. There's some harass hits on the other side. We still have herO just poised to try and push in. Tell you what, herO has not got the economy that I thought he might have. I thought herO might have a bit more of a comfortable worker count or so, but that's just really not the case at the moment. As that bio comes through, just going to pick off another set of rocks there. Zealots do not have charge just yet. It's really bad for them to run into this army if they don't have charge, because they can't even get away quickly. herO just about noticed it in time. Well, that is very important, because otherwise he could have lost a lot. ByuN could have just capitalized as he actually loads up the medevacs. Going to boost across over the army in toward the main base. He goes through a cannon somehow. Oh, he does get punished for it. That full medevac dies to the cannon. I was going to say, I thought it had gone out of range, but apparently not. He knew the Phoenix were on the top side of where this army had started dropping from. Oh, a disaster play from ByuN. Second medevac goes down. A couple units got out at least, but now we lift up a Ghost. That's a freebie. The Prism is hunting him down with a Colossus. If you're getting chased by a Colossus drop, you're probably doing things a little bit wrong as ByuN. There's a couple Widow Mine shots there. Do go nicely on the Phoenix. However, now we're in the same problem as before. That Widow Mine hits a lot of the Terran units. I kind of wish the Phoenix had cancelled those lifts and gone full chase on the medevacs. I think they could have kept the pressure up. herO might keep the pressure up anyways as he comes across to the other side. ByuN clearly felt the need to do damage there. He clearly felt as though he was desperate to make an impact. Well, obviously desperation is not the best impulse to act on. And unfortunately, it looks as though he might be in a lot of trouble now here in this game at number 5. Across we go. A couple of Widow Mine shots continue to burrow. We continue to get set up. Guardian Shield active. The Colossi just chasing forward. Colossi being a bit better looked after than they were in that first fight where one Colossus went down. Things definitely looking a little better there as we just have herO. Now going to have ByuN push back in the natural. It's going to be difficult for ByuN to escape that natural without taking splash damage. herO is missing detection though, and I think that's why he's backing it up, because he's afraid of these Widow Mines going off again and splashing his army on repeat, knowing that if that happens too many times, he could still have a very bad ending to this game. So I think just trying to stay clear of that as best he can. Plus, I'm going to knock down a bunch of these Widow Mines, so a lot of mines going down, a lot of those getting cleaned out. 3 more Stalkers on the way in. +2 attack and that +1 armor upgrade continuing as well, by the way, so we continue to get those on the go. herO works back over to the left-hand side. As we have him just maxing out. I mean, now he's going to be maxed against 160 supply, so that just tells you where we're at in this game. ByuN in a whole spot of trouble. And herO very much so looking to try and capitalize. Likely looking to push in and get something done in the near future as a couple Widow Mine shots go off. The Ghosts are going to get set up as well. I mean, obviously with the Ghost, you can definitely help to dictate a fight a little bit at least, as the Vikings here are going to come back through, pushing back. Colossi will take some hits. Blink still coming up on that Twilight, the +2 armor coming in as well, all of that being set up. Vikings, Marauders, and Marines coming through, and I mean, ByuN is going to get to max out here. I mean, the benefit of Golden Aura is it's a very difficult map to attack into your opponent's bases on, choky ramps and all sorts. And in this case, you know, herO was able to stop a 4th base coming up, but he couldn't push into the 3-base setup, so ByuN will at least get maxed. Maybe now he can hunt around and find some fights and engagements that will continue to do well for him as we progress on forward. Woodermine shot good for a few of those Zealots as they continue by. Next, firing up. Couple of medevacs already starting to go down as we do chase forward his herO here. He's got Zealots from the other side. Love that. Stop the Terran from being able to run away as easily. Oh, that was actually a great little move at the very end. Again, we're missing detection apparently to clean out some of those mines, it would seem, as the one stopping factor for the moment. MP's going down, Stalker's blink through, a couple of those Vikings begin to get dropped. Cannon's going to be finishing. We do see our Zealot's going to charge in again. Woodermine goes off, and a couple of the Zealots. EMPs, I mean, this is a choked position, right? This is the kind of spot I was talking about when it's difficult to move in. Is there just enough splash and enough support to kind of justify these aggressive moves from herO? It started off okay, but it feels like he loses a lot in the end. As all of those Zealots just melt away. We'll at least clean out the last couple of mines that are around and stop those firing a second time. ByuN scans the 6 o'clock as herO is expanding to bases 6 and 7 simultaneously now. He is absolutely going to take this eco game if it goes on longer. Disruptor does get denied. Both the Disruptors do it before we blink our Stalkers in. Vikings still going to target down the Colossus here, and there's no attempt to save the Colossus by targeting the Vikings, which might have been nice because continued splash damage would have probably just been a good thing. And herO kills 17 SCVs in the process of this attack, so killing 17 SCVs should in general put you as the Terran in a pretty bad spot, as now herO just continues to warp in. Will Zealot Stalker get the job done? EMP didn't really hit that many of the Zealots. Shooting down medevacs, so there's not going to be healing available either. And it looks as though herO is going to complete the complete reversal from 0-2 to 3-2. herO is going to make this a PvZ final today against Dark. ByuN just stims on through, going after those Stalkers. And I think it's fair to say that this is more than likely coming to a close now. Has +3 armor, +1 shields. Don't get me wrong, herO's tech units have definitely taken a big hit. He's only got 2 Immortals in terms of tech units, right? Just see Marauders moving around. 2 Immortals go down immediately. A couple Colossi still going through, +3 armor on the way. Stalkers will go onto this orbital. Zealots are going to charge through. Zealots leading the charge forward. The Prism going to get knocked down immediately. A couple of Zealots just going to continue onto the main base there. And just everything everywhere, right? Obviously, this 4th attempt of ByuN is not sticking around very long. We blink away from a mine. herO just going to back it up. He does not have a lot of army supply because he's just flinging units at his opponent. But if he could just take a couple moments, that economy will kick in for him, and he should end up in a very good position after that. Stalkers continue through, Zealots continue to come about. I'm still going to move around. Back over the other side here, a couple Colossi continuing through. +3 shields, +1 shields about to finish, so even more upgrades. I mean, again, this is just a case of if herO just took a couple moments to stop and to build, and then to go, which is kind of what he's done now, this should just start looking a lot better for him, and I think that's exactly where we're going to end up here at the end of the day. As, yeah, he's pretty much max against 120 supply. Now, that's the kind of army you do not fight back from as ByuN. Put a mine shot down a single Stalker, a couple more hits coming through, side to side. Colossi still trying to chase on in as we just have ourselves +2 shields coming up. The orbital will land on the 12 o'clock. Shot still going through. The Bioforce pulling back again. Here you go. Bioforce going to come stimming forwards here. Colossi going to take a stance. You see a Widowmine shot going off as well, but there's going to be too much herO. Not enough ByuN. And herO completes the reverse sweep from 0-2 down. He gets the victory. Congrats to herO. I mean...